Okay, there we are. We are live. So,
Some of us are.
so which is this camera isn't wrong. You're just taking up all the space. I'm the important one. Okay. Maybe I should lower it a little bit too. Is that better? Yep, there we go. So, hello everybody. Hi Billy. Hi Betty. Hi Patsy. Hi Laura. See you're all here waiting, and there must be some more in the wings. So say hello everybody, and we'll get started here in just a second. And I trust every... Oh, Patsy says boo. Boo to you too. I'm assuming you're going Halloween with that. But that's next weekend. Actually, next Sunday's Halloween. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that because I'm still up in the air about what we're doing about Halloween. So maybe you guys can give us some ideas once we get to that part when we're talking about it. But hi, Jeannie. So
yeah, I've gone to pre-manufactured shirt today.
Oh yeah, you're not wearing one of yours. I'm wearing one of yours.
I almost put in on my long sleeve that I made last year, but
oh, little chili.
no, not that.
It's 11.
No, oh no, I meant.
Oh, you mean to wear that? Yeah. Well, yeah. Hi, Marilyn.
I was thinking if I could still fit into it because I got a little bit pudgy since last time.
COVID 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are at that age though, where it goes right to our hips. Yeah, and gut.
Well, stop drinking beer, but
well, what? I only have 1 or 2 cases. So, no, we don't drink that much beer. I don't. It's the wine. I drink a lot. Okay, so let's get started. I guess everybody can see us and everybody can hear us okay, so that's fine. I did have someone write a comment on my little teaser for today's video that they thought that the sound quality was better when I did little clips and things. So this person suggested we needed to sit closer to the Yeti. Well, we're sitting about as close as we can get to it right now, unless we bring it up right here, like hello there. Ooh, we should have headphones on. Hello there, everybody. Or what those 2 guys on the knitting podcast do. The one guy goes 9-inch circular needles, which I'm not sure what 9-inch circular needles are, but he does that all the time.
No, Teresa, I'm pudgy, not you.
Did I hear the word? Are you making fun of me? No, Teresa, we're not. How could we tell, Teresa? We can't see you. Hi, Anita. And hi to you too, Teresa. So anyways, yeah, so I did turn up the volume on the Yeti a little bit more. So we'll see how that is. Yeah, if you can't hear us when you see the replay or something like that, just turn it up on your
turn your hearing aid up.
Yeah, turn your hearing aid up. Oh, Patsy says, I don't remember seeing Walter in another color shirt.
Yeah, I wear it every once in a while.
You know, black is slimming color.
Lately, I only made so many short sleeve shirts this year, and so now I'm heading into long sleeve shirts.
Yeah, so. I know. Well, I need at least 3, and Anita says Wolfman Jack vibes. Oh, from the microphone. But anyway, so oh hi Betty. Did I say hello to Betty before? Yeah, I did. Okay, never mind, Betty. I already said hello to you.
In Syracuse. We haven't been in Syracuse in a long time. We used to pass through there on our way to Cape Cod.
Yeah, that's true. We did, yeah.
Well, hi, not Cheryl. That we went there that often. But...
Well, no, but in our younger days when we'd head our way down to Provincetown, we'd go through there, yeah. Oh, Cheryl says we sound great today. That's good. Patsy wears a lot of black. Yeah, it's supposed to be a slimming color. I'm not sure for whom, but... Because I
think it does have its limits.
Well, yeah, I think so. Like, okay, you know, got to be careful here because I know a lot of ladies like black. So we're not going to say what we have seen and why we think it's not necessarily a slimming color for some forms, let's just say. But anyways, we're not going to get into that. Okay, so what's new about my mother? Well, things have improved.
Perked up.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what's going on. My sister and I went over to see her on Wednesday. We both went together. We were expecting the worst, although the nursing home had not been in contact with me since she came out of the hospital, and I had phoned them, and I wasn't getting I phoned them on Monday, And I was having whoever it was that answered the phone up there was having a conversation with somebody else while she's having a conversation with me, which was a little bit disconcerting. And because, you know, if you're going to talk to me on the phone, I want your full and undivided attention, because the only important person at that moment in time is me. So anyways, she said, well, yeah, my mother had been somewhat responsive, and she'd been eating and she'd been drinking, not a lot, but she'd been doing that. And I said, so is she taking her medication? Are you getting that into her? And they said, oh, yeah. I'm going, okay. So anyways, my sister and I went over on Wednesday to see her. Oh, this was, okay. The left hand does not tell the right hand what it's doing in this nursing home facility, I've noticed quite a bit actually lately, and it's kind of disturbing me. One, they just got a brand new administrator. This is the second administrator since they opened in June, which doesn't leave me with a really secure feeling, although it might be a stepping stone to other opportunities for these people. I mean, it's a hard job. I mean, I get it. It's a lot of stress, and, you know, COVID hasn't made it any easier. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So my sister and I, we get there, we walk in the front door, and it's like a breezeway, right? And they have the doors that lead in from the breezeway that lead right into the lobby. They're locked. You have to put on a mask, one of their masks. They have a little table set up with disposable masks on it. You can't wear your own mask. And they've got the sanitizer there. So you're supposed to sanitize your hands, put on one of these masks, and then they'll let you in. And then they take, you know, they ask you all the questions. They look down their list to see if we've been double vaxxed, because we registered that when we had gotten that and everything. And then they test you, because now I think the outbreaks...
It's a rapid test.
It's a rapid test, but you got to sit there for about 10 minutes until whatever color that is, it turns to some color that either means I don't have COVID or I'm pregnant. I'm not sure which one it is. And then I get to go up and see my mother. So we were put on the mask, sanitized our hands, put on the mask and everything, because we've been there before. We know the routine. And there's this older lady who, quite frankly, I think she should have been one of the people in the nursing home.
Maybe she was, and she didn't know that.
I don't know. But anyways, she's pointing at our faces. And there's in this breezeway, there's one of those heating units, and it's going full blast, so you can't hear anything. And the doors are shut, okay? And they're heavy glass doors. So she's pointing at the mask and doing things, and I'm looking at, yeah, I've got a mask on. Like, are you blind?
The procedure in this place is that they don't allow your cloth masks in. So
that's what I just said.
Oh, I didn't realize you said that. Okay, so and you're supposed to take it.
Hi, Sylvia. Yeah, you got to take one of their disposable masks. So anyways, we're all masked up and everything. We're doing what we're supposed to do, and this lady is going ape shit out there, you know, pointing around. And I said to her, I can't hear you. And I said it very loud, and I'll spare you the how loud it is, because it'll probably blow the microphone. But I said, we can't hear you. And I'm pointing to the ceiling, but she hasn't got a clue what I'm doing. Then I'm pointing to my ears and going, no, can't hear you. Then she takes her mask that she's wearing, and she pulls it part way up like this. And I'm thinking, what? Is it something to do with my beard? Or what? I don't know what she's talking about. So finally she opens the doors and goes, you have to take one of those masks. We're wearing them. We just did. No, you have to take one of those masks. I'm getting a little heated at this, right? And I realize, like, she's a volunteer. She's, you know, maybe this was her first day doing it. I have no idea. So
she didn't see you take a mask, so now she wants to take
so we rip off our masks, throw them in the garbage can, take another mask, re-sanitize our hands, and we're standing there. So finally she lets us in. I says, you know, I've been here many times before under this procedure. We already took a mask, but fine. Okay, we've got that. Then she's the one signing us in. Oh my God. First of all, she asks your name. My name is Stephen with a V. Bland. B-L-A-N-D. Now, you know, my last name is not a hard name to spell. It's the word land with a B in front of it, okay? This is not rocket science here. It's not like his last name, which is 26 letters long.
No, mine's 12 letters long.
Well, it feels like 26 when you're having to write it out. But anyways, so I said, and she's writing down blank. No. Then she's writing land. No. Then she's writing bland with an E. No. So I'm spelling it to her. I almost had to do YMCA because I'm going B-A. No. Can't spell my own name. B-L-A-N-D. I didn't quite do that, but almost did. So finally she gets that written down. Then she says, and who are you visiting? I said, my mother, our mother. Her name is Lorna.
Uh-oh.
And so then we have
Lorna Bland.
Yeah, Len. She goes, oh. So she says, so she starts spelling it out. Laura. No. Lorna. Norma. No. L-O-R. I don't know how you do an R. N-A.
It's low with RNA at the end.
And then she says, and what's her last name? Well, okay. I mean, she could have a different last name than me, maybe. But I said,
Aloysius Mundsley.
Yeah, I said, Bland. So we got through that. Well, then my sister has to get there. So my sister says, Lori Aldsworth. Not Bland? No, she's my sister. She's married. She has a husband. She took her name. Okay, I know you don't probably get that. But I thought, oh, she's going to have fun with Lori's name, spelling it. It's not a hard name to spell, but a lot of time I think people leave the S out. She's not an Aldworth. She's an Aldsworth. So my sister says, no, it's Lori. So she, L-O-R-I. No, not L-O-R-I. Laura. No! Lorna? No! Lori. So my sister finally got it spelled out. Meanwhile, I went and sat down so they could stick the thing up my nose. And they did. And so there we are. We're sitting there waiting. Then I overhear the receptionist who's there. She says to the volunteers, so who are they here to see? And she's looking at Norma? No, well, the receptionist knows who we are, kind of thing. So we've been there enough times, right? She goes, no, oh, Lorna Bland. She's on the 3rd floor. Yeah. Well, she didn't actually. The receptionist said what? And the other one, like, what floor is she on or something? Or somebody said that. My sister peeks around the corner from the cubicle and goes, room 311, 3rd floor. And she goes, oh, that's still under restriction. So they'll have to change their masks. So mask number 3 came. This one it's still one of those cloth paper masks, but it has a little piece of cheap plastic attached to it that is like an eye visor, but I'd never seen one like this. It's sort of like it's upside down in a way. Because you put this on your mouth and it's got the eye visors attached here and it hangs up here. So fine, we had to get rid of the other one and put that one on. So we both came up negative as we knew. So then we get upstairs to her room. Now I had a form I needed to sign because I had changed a level of my mother's health care based upon, what had happened with the hospital and how she was when I saw her last week. So this was supposed to be at the front desk. Now, I knew that I would ask somebody about this if I hadn't contacted them again to make sure it was there, and they wouldn't have a clue what I'm talking about. Say, oh, you have to see them in administration. So I had emailed administration earlier in the day, told them we were coming over, and, I had this form that I had to sign. And the administrator said, okay, she said she talked to Anita. Anita is the nurse practitioner. And Anita would look after it. Well, I had already talked to Anita before, but okay, fine. So I got an email very quickly back from Anita saying, yep, she had the form. It would be at the nurse's station on the 3rd floor. I said, great. So we get up on the 3rd floor. There's nobody at the nurse's station. I don't know where all the nurses were. Everybody was running amok. Well, not really, because most of them can't run anyways, but it didn't matter. In fact, there was some lady there, looked like she was folding bibs, and there were some of them sitting at the tables in the dining area. I guess they were getting the good seats early. I don't know, because this is like at a little 11:15, and they have lunch at about 12. But whatever.
Well, I think the ones that can walk tend to go out there quick.
Yeah. So anyways, I said to my sister, well, okay, I'll do it on the way out. So we went down to see my mother. Now we're expecting my mother to be completely out of it, right? Well, no. She's sitting up in bed, got her bib on, TV's on, blaring. my mother can't control the TV. I think they just put whatever comes up. That's what they, keeps them amused, I guess. So he walked in and said, "Hi, Mom. How you feeling today?" "Oh, not too bad." Wow. She speaks. My God. Knock us over with a feather. So anyways, we had a little visit with her. There's not much to have a conversation with because it's always one-sided. But anyways, we just rattled on as we normally do and everything. But I asked her, I said, "So, Mom, are you eating?" "No." I said, "Well, they told me when I talked to them this week that, yes, you were eating." "Oh." I said, "Are they taking you down to the dining room?" "I suspect it not." I don't think they take her out of bed anymore at all because she doesn't want to go. And I think she threatens to throw up on them if they try to do that. She's, no. So I said, "Okay, well, then they're bringing your food to the room." "No." "Mom, you must be eating." "Oh, I guess." Okay. Lots of information here, not. So anyways, we did all of that, visited with her, and off we went. And I stopped at the nurse's station. Guess what? Nobody there. So the one that was still folding the bibs seemed to be quite the job because she was still folding them, and we'd been in seeing my mother about 15, 20 minutes, I guess. Anyways, I asked her, I said, "Well, you probably don't know." I said, I have a form I'm supposed to sign. It's supposed to be here at the nurse's station. Is there somebody on the nurse's station? "Oh." Yeah, that's the look I got. "Oh."
Well, they're usually the ones that folding the bibs are usually like the people that wash those things. So,
Well, I knew she probably wouldn't know what I was talking about, but she's, "Oh, no, there's nobody there." "Oh," she's, "Did you check on the other side? You see, my mother's floor is split into two, and the nurse's station is sort of in the center. So, there's two desks kind of back to back in an area." "No, I'd already checked that. Nobody home there either." She says, "Oh, well, I'll see. There's a nurse down the hall." "Oh, no." And then a nurse came up and I said, "Hi." I said, "There's supposed to be a form here at the desk for me to sign." Just, "Oh, I'll get Betty." Nurse Betty. Nurse Betty I'd been talking to on the phone lately. And I'd never met. I was expecting Nurse Betty to be about 300 pounds, white hair, shuffling along. No, she's not. Nurse Betty is actually got dark hair. Looks like she's probably in her late 40s or so, and you could spit through her. Skinny as a rake, kind of a deal. So Nurse Betty comes up, and it took Nurse Betty to figure out. So she said, "Oh, I've talked to you." And I went, "Yeah, nice to meet you, Nurse Betty." So she says, "Oh, yeah." She says, "It's in there." She says, "Uh-oh." The door was shut and locked to get into her station, right? And she didn't have the key. She didn't know where the key was. But then she says, "Oh, well, you didn't see this." So she jumps over the desk and goes right through the window, kind of a thing. So she was spry, Nurse Betty. Very wiry little thing. Anyway, she got in there. She knew where it was, found the binder. I signed it. Everything was fine. Meanwhile, one of the other nurses or staff came up and said, "Why'd you do that?" Saying to her, "Why'd you jump?" "Well, I don't know where the key is." She reaches over, pulls it up off the desk, and goes, "Here it is." Okay. So then we left. And so my mother was not okay, she's
in a bed.
She's bedridden.
I didn't see her, but I don't know.
But this was a totally different than when I went. So the only thing I can think of is that maybe when she was in the hospital, they gave her something or whatever, and I saw her the next morning. So maybe the effects hadn't worn off. I have no idea. Or she was
just in shock. Who knows? I don't
know. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, we're not on death watch at the moment.
Yeah. She didn't actually know that she was in the hospital, right?
No, she didn't remember that. No. She didn't realize she was still on oxygen. So I said, "Well, I see you're still on oxygen." She goes, "No, I'm not." I says, "Mom," and I tapped it. "That thing in your nose, that's oxygen." So,
well, she's probably gotten used to that.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, so yeah, she was okay.
Yeah, somebody said on here about, sounds like they were getting residents working as volunteers. Actually, I think what they're getting is there's the same organization has two seniors apartments that are next door to the nursing home or the long-term care facility.
And they're owned by the same corporation.
And they're owned by the same corporation. I have a feeling that they get some people that live in those apartments as volunteers.
Well, that one that was down at the door, she really should be thinking about transferring over. Because,
like, his mom's got friends that live in the in one of the apartments, and they're in their late 80s, early 90s. So.
Yeah.
But these apartments that are next door are more or less they're just regular type apartments, but seniors live in them, and they do have an ability for them to get food made for them. And I think they have like a nurse on call if there's something wrong. But you still have to be somewhat independent to live in them.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's the latest. So hello, Donna, and hi, Rose, and hi, Wendy, and everybody. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of a roller coaster ride. You never know what you're going to find. So we just live with it. So I sent my brother an email. I'm sure his wife went, well, that's Steven. He probably just jumping off the end of the thing and wants her dead and all that stuff, because that's just the way my sister-in-law probably would be. How do you spell bitch, sister-in-law? Anyways, so I wrote to my brother and says, okay, I guess we're all right. Mom was better. Still, she's not dancing the hoochie coochie or anything or running amok, but, you know, whatever. So, yeah, so that was the thing with my mother. So let's change the conversation, shall we? So what are you working on?
Well, nothing right now, except I was getting prepared for my class that I start on Monday, which is about doing a long sleeve shirt, but we're doing some different things than the last time we did a long sleeve shirt. So I needed a few things, and actually it turns out that we're not actually starting with sewing on Monday. We're going to do what they call a pattern review first, and that basically I have the pattern and everything, and the instructor, the guy that's teaching our class, Brendan, he usually alters the pattern slightly when we do it, just to make it easier for us to sew and change things that make sense to change on the pattern. So we sometimes have a pattern review to go over the changes that he's decided to do. And also, we're doing this shirt a little different in that we're having, we're gonna do a different color under the collar, and we're gonna do a different color on the button band and the inside of the cuffs and the placket. If you know a long sleeve shirt, you've got a.
No, nobody can see that.
No, I know, but on a long, where am I?
Yep.
On a long sleeve shirt, you have a button on the inside here that opens up with the cuff, right? And that's called a placket. And so we're going to do a different color on that as well. Mm. So we needed a coordinating color. We needed a main fabric, a coordinating color. Plus, we're going to also do some coordinating color piping down the button band and around the cuffs. So this is going to be my main fabric that I'm using. It's sort of it's a mottled gray blue here, mottled gray blue that I'm using, and it's got some caramel colored highlights in it, if you can see. So that's my main fabric. And I debated for the color under the collar of being light gray or a dark gray, and I think I've decided to go with the dark gray. So it's a very dark color of gray to go underneath the collar. And then there's a caramel color in the pattern that you can see. There's this caramel color, and I've decided to do the piping in that similar caramel color on the side. So this is the caramel color that I'm using for the piping. Actually, it doesn't show up as dark as it is. It's actually a very orangey color. It's a very orangey dark color on it. So this is that, this is the gray, and this is the main shirt pattern. How do I do that?
What? Yeah. How you do it? What?
Trying to show all three of them together.
Well, they were showing. They were coming up. Like, look in there.
Okay, hang on. Can't see.
There.
There.
Okay.
All right. So
So actually, that main fabric you're using, that comes from a line called City Lights by Northcott, and I made a quilt out of that. So
It's all quilting cotton, but it actually has a very nice This has a very nice, comfortable feel to it.
yeah, it's
Right?
nice. It's soft.
It's very soft.
Well, you know what Northcott's slogan is? Cottons that feel like silk.
Oh,
With it. What are people saying? Rose says, I like the colors and pattern in Mr. Steven. Mr. Steven's shirt. Oh, okay.
actually, it is. It looks on this picture. It looks almost like a light. Was it almost a beigey color, right? But if I see it right now, it looks more like a what do you call that?
Well, it looks like a suede almost.
Yeah,
Like what
it's a darker color. It's very
yeah, it's
pumpkin-y
coming
like.
out on here a little lighter than it really is.
Yeah, it's a very rich caramel color.
So everybody likes your color choices and your fabrics. And yeah, so I made out of that main fabric he had, and that was called City Lights, as I already said, and I made a quilt using those fabrics as well. So you can make me the shirt and I can stand by the quilt and look, coordinate it. A new line. Shirts and quilts made from the same thing. Versatile. But anyways, so what? So when's this class start? Monday?
Well, it starts Monday, but it's just a pattern review. We're just reviewing the pattern. I haven't cut the pattern out yet, but I've decided to wait till Monday night's class because Brendan always has some interesting changes that we have to make to the pattern. So I think I'll wait till Monday night and then trace out the pattern and do the alterations to it, and then cut out my fabric for next Monday.
So how many weeks is this one?
He expects it'll take us about 4 to 5 weeks to do it. Because we only do, the class only is usually about 2 hours each night. And so he usually has certain things that they decide to tackle at any one point. We have a couple of new members apparently to the class.
Oh, do you?
So he may have to take things a little slower than with the regular people.
So what, did those ones come because of the workshops he did with Ron Collins?
Yeah. Yeah, they decided because we were modeling their clothes that we made during his class. So they were kind of intrigued into taking this class.
Marilyn says it comes out on her screen as more gold. Yeah, well, you always get a color shift on these computers.
It's a very it's kind of gold, but it's very I call it caramel because it's more of a caramel. I call a caramel color.
Hi, Fidel. Yeah, Betty says, wish I had time to learn to make clothing. I only quilt in long arm. You know, I don't have any desire to make clothing. I'd rather do quilting. I just don't think I'd have the patience for it.
Yeah, I think if you're really in tune to do quilting, I know most of the people that I know either do garments or either do quilting. There's some people that have a crossover. One of the ladies in our class, she sometimes does quilting, but most of the time she does garments. And the quilting she usually does is making like a baby quilt or something like that because she's got grandkids and stuff. So
I have yet to make a baby quilt. Don't know anybody having babies. Well, anybody in our age bracket, they shouldn't be having babies, really. But anyways, so what have I been working on? Well, I just finished a quickie that I did. I realized that I didn't have anything to give the neighbors at Christmas this year. The last couple of years, I've made them something. Actually, shame them to no end.
Well, no, actually, what happened was first couple of years they moved in here, they kept giving us things at Christmas. We weren't giving them anything back. So
well, they were giving us like some nice homemade goodies and things like that, which was very nice of them and everything. So 2 Christmases ago, they came and they brought some tarts and things, I think, that she had made and gave to us. And I said, oh, just a minute. So I ran in the house and grabbed this bag. I think, was it one of your Christmas bags that you'd made?
That was last year.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, then I came out and I'd made them, I think, some napkins and placemats. And then last year,
we gave them the Christmas bag with, and you made that
table runner.
No, that was the what do you call it? The angel.
Oh yeah, the angel, the freestanding lace angel that's about a foot high and that kind of thing. Well, anyways, the other day I was going through, okay, what have I got left to make for Christmas? Oh, I haven't made them anything yet. Well, when I was in Ultimate Sewing there about a week or so ago, Shirley was showing me from Northcott, actually, the same company that makes the fabrics Walter's going to do a shirt out of. And I love Northcott's fabrics, but they have a whole line of Canadian themed fabrics. And they've got this one line that's for Christmas as well. So she was showing me the panel. Now I wasn't that interested in the panel. It was okay, but um she said, well, she says, you got that new long arm, you know, you could do thread painting on something like this and use it for practice and that. And I thought, well, actually, that's not a bad idea. Of course, then she was showing me some of the coordinating fabrics. You know, you can throw a border on it and all this kind of stuff. So she saw me coming. So I thought, well, okay, maybe I will do that. It'll be quick, right? So I got it out. When did I start making it? Yesterday? No, day before. It was a quickie. I added an inner border and an outer border to it. And then I put it on the long arm and I just did a pantograph, a really easy one that I had on it. And I bound it yesterday, or I bound it this morning and washed it, and it's all done and ready to go. I'm going to show you a picture of it right here. Let me switch my camera over. Oh, just give me a second here. Gotta find it. There it is. And okay, how come it's not coming up? Oh, because I'm on the wrong one. There we go. So there it is. Pretty fast one to do because it's a panel, and I added this border to it. This is all the panel, including the border that goes around it. And then this was the inner panel, and this is the outer panel, and then I bound it, and well, I quilted it first. I can show you what it looks like a little bit closer to the quilting. It's just a pantograph. I didn't really have a Christmas one to do on here, and I thought, well, this will look like fast and easy and sort of, it fits with Christmas, I think. So anyways, it's just the size of a, basically a throw, actually a lap quilt. So anyways, that's for the neighbors. So let me just go back to us. And we are back there. So there we are. And there we go. Okay, now we can see everything that's there. So, yep, so that's what I've been up to. I see that Cheryl's on here. And Cheryl, I abandoned that pattern you gave me. The Avatrex medallion. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know how well you can see it. Cheryl has made this quilt, and I thought it looked really, really interesting. So she very nicely gave me the pattern, and I went out and I got all the fabrics, and I was going to do it in batiks. It takes 25 fat quarters and then a couple of background fabrics as well. But what I didn't realize was how much cutting there was going to be. And
oh, you want a challenge?
No, I don't want that challenge. It was starting to drive me mental. So you have 3 templates that you had to make for it, and they're all trapezoid type of things. And they're not very big. And if you make a template, you cut it out of template plastic, stencil plastic, so you can't really use it to use your rotary cutter on because it's too thin. Your rotary cutter will just slide across it and cut it to ribbons. So I was drawing it out on the fat quarter pieces and cutting it out with a ruler then where I marked it, and there were, out of one set of fat quarters, 5 fat quarters in this one color wave, there was something like, in total, what, about 300 or 400 pieces that you had to cut out? But you had to do this, multiply that by 5. Plus background pieces. And I went, oh, give me a break. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try to make my own templates for this using my 3D printer. That wasn't working out very well. Then I did some more research, and I did find the woman who designed this pattern, called Elizabeth Hartman. She had a bunch of tips on cutting things out, which, you know, did make life a little easier, but still. And I'm just looking at it and going, Nope. Nope. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I am not doing this. I like the quilt, but there's lots of quilts I like. And this one, I'm just putting myself through sheer hell with it. So
Cheryl's going, the cutting was fun for sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. Even the designer of the pattern says, yeah, there's a lot of cutting. Okay, this is mental. Okay, this is mental. And my God, Cheryl, I admire you so much for your perseverance to do that quilt. And guys, I'm not doing it. I'm not,
not right now.
I don't think I'm ever doing it. No. You know what would be nice? I almost thought of contacting Lori Rumman, who lives out west. She was my guest speaker on my last retreat, and she designs custom templates. She has a laser cutter, and she can cut them for you. And I was thinking of sending her a picture, like with the dimensions of those 3 templates, and asking her, you know, can you actually cut those for me, and how much is it going to cost me? I might still do that. No, I don't think I will, because I took a look at how many little pieces there were, and you had to line up the dots. You had to put dots on them. And I have done something like that before, because the center medallion is a huge star. And I love stars on quilts. I really do. But not this one. No, not doing it. Cheryl says she forced herself to do it. Look at your, Walter has a crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, queen for a day, queen forever. But anyways, so I'm not going to do that quilt. And what are people saying?
Use your 3D printer.
I'd love that gift. What gift, Teresa? Oh, the quilt you're talking about. But cutting is the fun part. Yeah. Use your 3D printer and print the templates. You need to cut them out. Yeah, I tried that, Billy, and it didn't work out because I don't know how to design in AutoCAD programs. And I thought I had it.
Learn.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to. So it's very, well, I don't have the right programs for it too. And I don't know, maybe down the road.
This guy's impatient. So
I am very impatient with things. And well, my time is valuable. I mean, I had to say, if do I really want to make this? Is this something that I
think it looks really neat.
I think it does too.
I think it looks really good.
Well, you make the damn thing. You shut up. Yeah.
It's my favorite quilt. Oops. Make it for me for Christmas.
Yeah, you're not getting it for Christmas. I'll make it for you for Christmas if you make me 6 shirts, long sleeve, and pants to go with them before Christmas. Yeah, that's not going to happen. My friend Cheryl said, did 5 of those quilts. You can do lots of improv in cutting.
Oh, Cheryl says, why don't you just do the center block?
Yeah, I thought of that too. No, I've got other ones I want to do. Quilting is a labor of love. Yeah, all right, Teresa. Yeah, well, I'm not loving it that much, okay? I thought I did, but
of course, you don't really want to do the project from hell because it might turn you off of quilting.
Yeah.
Because I found that with knitting years ago. I was into knitting at one point in time in my early 30s because I kind of always wanted, my mother always used to do it, and I always wanted to make a sweater for myself. So I tried that. Then my sister, who always doesn't want to do anything hard, she knitted too. She hands me this.
To Jessie?
No, Margaret.
Margaret. Oh, well, yeah.
The sweater from hell, which, and she says, oh, you want a challenge? You can do this. You can make this sweater for me. Well, I never did finish it. It was a sweater from hell, and I think it's the last thing I ever knitted.
Cheryl says she's keeping her quilt. No one else deserves it. If I was actually to go through and make that one with the amount of cutting and everything it takes, damn right I'm not giving that to anybody. No. I think it would have been really pretty because of the colors I picked on all the batiks and the whole bit, but no. Now, the star appeals to me because it's like a Lone Star. It's not actually a Lone Star, but I'm taking a class. Actually, it was a class I signed up to just before everything got shut down before COVID, and now the class is opened up again, and it starts in another week's time. And I'm still a little iffy. I think I'm going to go through with taking the class. I'm just iffy about the whole COVID thing and everything, I was talking to Shirley actually yesterday, the owner of Ultimate Sewing, and said, are you going to ask people to prove that they've been double vaxxed? And she's in a really hard spot because our government is not giving her any definite answers. Like for people who are in retail business, they're basically leaving it up to them to make the hard decision. And that's not right because, if she decides she's going to demand that people prove that they have been double vaxxed, then she might get some wingnuts out there that are going to give her a really hard time. And I mean, after all, it's her business, and I understand that. But she says at the same time, she's really quite concerned about, she doesn't want it being spread in her store. She says so far things have been good with it all. And the lady that's teaching this class, she is a cancer survivor. So, she doesn't want anything happening there. I mean, we'll have to wear masks. They're disinfecting it, and they've cut down the number of people in the class. There's only 6 of us in the class, but it's still a fairly small classroom. And, well, I said to her, well, the reason I'm asking you this is because I imagine most of the people that'll be in the class are probably regulars to the store, and they're probably people who are all double vaxxed because they don't want to jeopardize anything because they're, loyal customers to the store. But I said, I'll tell you now, when I'm in the class at the beginning of it, I'm going to say the first words that are going to come out of my mouth is, I said, I'm going to assume that everybody in here has been double vaxxed. And if someone gives me attitude about that, I said, I'm walking out. I'm not taking the class. And I said, I'm sorry, that could be a possibility, but I've got to be careful about my health too. Like, not that I have any problems or anything, but it's the whole point, So anyways, hopefully everything will be okay and it'll be the regulars and that are, probably all double vax. So we'll see about that. But anyways, so I'm making a Lone Star in that class and it has Y seams. And you're talking about a challenge. I'm taking this class because I want to learn how to do Y seams. I know how to do them. I've done them. They're not hard, really, once you get going with them, but I need a refresher on them. But originally when I signed up for this class, I hadn't really done Y seams much before then. I have now. So, but yeah, we'll see with it. And I've always wanted to do a Lone Star. So that will be my challenge and that'll get me over this one. Plus, I'll have homework in that class. So can't let my attention be divided by another thing. So what are people saying here? Billy says her son always cuts some out for her with AutoCAD. Yeah, I know. If I knew how to do AutoCAD, I could design these things too. Yeah, I guess I may have to start trying to learn it. Yeah, Betty, when I start a project, I just want to get on with it. Oh, Marilyn says Icelandic sweater.
No, actually it wasn't. If it was an Icelandic sweater, it probably would have been okay because I did sort of.
Yeah, you did a lot of Icelandic sweaters.
I did ones with patterns in it, and I did what do you call it, cable knit ones, and that wasn't it. It was a European pattern, and it was like a cross stitch. It had a whole map. And you had to do all your. It was sort of like, I call it a cow pattern because it had all these blobs on it, right? And I was particular because I wanted all the stitches to be right. I suppose I could have just ignored where the stitches were supposed to do and just did it. Yeah. And if I made a mistake, I made a mistake. But I was being picky in those days, and I just got to the point where it was just like, I can't deal with this anymore. I hated that stupid sweater, so I just gave up on it, and I never ever made anything else after that. So
that was the one that killed you.
I mean, if it was an Icelandic sweater and like it was the same pattern all the way across and stuff like that, that wouldn't have been any problem at all. Yeah. But this thing was just a disaster in the making.
The sweater from hell. Well, of course, because your sister gave it to you.
Yeah, she gave it to me. She knew it would be the sweater from me. She knit it herself. And she knew it would be the sweater from hell. Oh, you need a challenge. You want a challenge. That's how she always was when she wanted a product, but didn't want to do it herself.
Yeah, she was always throwing things on other people.
I could just imagine if she had, like, she's passed away in 2006, but if she was alive today and saw that Steve did quilts
Well,
and
she'd
that
have all kinds of orders.
I was doing sewing, she sewed as well. In fact, probably one of the reasons we started with sewing was because we inherited one of her sergers.
Yeah.
But she would be coming, oh well, you do all this complicated stuff. Why don't you make it? She'll be having me make her clothes, or with Steve do have her. She'll be coming over here with quilting patterns.
Oh yeah, yeah. But anyways, well, she's dead. We don't have to worry about that. Anita says, I just got my COVID Pfizer booster shot on Friday. On Saturday, I was dead to the world for the day. Marilyn says, was it as bad as the second shot, Anita? And Cheryl got booster 2 weeks ago, was tired for one day, then was fine. Not as bad. It hit me on Saturday afternoon, Anita says. Chills, muscle aches. I covered up with blankets and slept the whole day. Yeah, we don't have boosters yet here, except.
Well, there are some boosters, but I think they've been giving them to people in nursing homes and people with severe medical complications.
Yeah, because I signed that form, but I don't know if she's had it yet or not. I filled out the form and everything to have my mother get the booster.
Yeah.
The permission for it. And I didn't hear any more about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fidel says, why seams are not very difficult. No, but they're a little bit trickier than just your straight seams, right? So anyways, Teresa said, I had my flu on Thursday and COVID booster in the same arm on Friday last, no issues. Yeah, I got something to tell you about that flu shot business. I started wearing my mask and went out and I'm a double Pfizer shot. Yeah, good evening. Hi, Anne. I'm done so good with staying away from crowds of people, but I have to fly to Salt Lake, Utah next Sunday. My son is having surgery on Tuesday. Oh, that's too bad. I hope that works out okay. Rose says, my mama used to say, everything looks easy from the couch. Why don't you get up and do it? Yeah. Well, anyways, so the other thing I was working on just today. So we went over to Ultimate Sewing yesterday because Walter needed some fabric, and I was looking for I needed some fabric to back that quilt that I showed you. And I happened to see a Hoop Sisters file, pattern, whatever. I don't know what you call them. It's an embroidery thing, but the Hoop Sisters do a lot of in the hoop kind of things, like right up to full size quilts and stuff. And I've never done a Hoop Sisters design. So I saw this one there. It was for making placemats or wall hangings for Christmas. So I bought it and I did it today. Well, I had some problems. It wasn't that I had some problems. It's just that I didn't realize that what I was creating was going to be a quilt as you go kind of pattern. And when you put it all together for the placemat, it's just two pieces. Well, you've got to do some other things. You've got to take another piece of fabric, quilt it, then cut it into the strips and put it all on. It's a big rigmarole. I've done something like that before and I said I'd never do it again, so I didn't. So this is it's not done yet. I haven't bound it, but this is it. But I'm going to let you in a little secret here. You start off when you make one of these blocks with some battleizer. Battleizer is sort of a thinner, denser batting, which is good for things like table runners and pot holders and stuff like that. And you start with that and you build up on it, and these are appliqued and everything like that. But when you're done, you have these two blocks. Then you have to attach them together, and that's where the problem came. I wasn't thinking, because they were going to do a hinged system with the sashing, and you cut this out of strips of fabric, larger strips of fabric that you had already quilted, and do this. And it is a pain in the ass, because I did a class in this Quilt As You Go on putting it together, and I said I'd never do one of those again. So I decided to do my own thing. So what's my own thing? Okay, this has now been double batted. But you see, the problem is these two panels had batting in them. but the sashing does not. So when you put the sashing on and you have it all out here, you have a gap. This part doesn't have any batting under it. So I took scraps of batting, cut them the right size, put them in the sashing, all of this in here, and then I took another piece of battleizer that's the size of this and laid it on top, and then I did stitch in the ditch around the blocks and quilted some walking foot quilting. I didn't use my long arm on this because it's a small piece. And so it works out fine. And because battleizer tends to be low loft and it's very condensed, it doesn't make a lot of difference. Now I got to bind this yet. I'm debating whether I'm going to make another one or not, so I'll have a pair of them. Or it could just be a little table decoration or something. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Leave it to me to do something that's not quite in the books for all of that. It is pretty, yes, Anita. So anyways, so Teresa said she had 6 reasons to get the booster. Yeah, well, we're waiting for the booster.
We're waiting until they allow us to get the booster.
Then we'll get it. Yep. But anyways, go to the flu shot business. Okay. Here in Ontario, where we live, the flu shots are basically administered by Shoppers Drug Mart, which is the biggest drugstore chain.
Well, I think it wasn't just Shoppers.
No, other ones do it too.
Other pharmacies do it. So,
but you could register for a flu shot online, and you would get a text message when it was available at your local Shoppers Drug Mart, whichever one you put in. So I did that. And I got a text message. I got 3 of them. They kept sending these to me, telling me that the high dose flu shot was now available. Well, the thing is, you have to be 65 or over, or have a medical complication that, makes you more vulnerable to the flu to get that. Well, I'm not over 65, and I'm close, but I'm not over it yet, and I don't have any medical conditions where I would need the high dose, so I just ignored that. Then I got one, though, about a day later after I got the 3rd one of those, that said the regular dose one was in. So I thought, wow, that's fast. Okay. Now, I had read online that the regular dose would not be available till November the 1st. But that comes from our government, and our government doesn't know what the hell they're doing anyway. So I thought, okay, so we've got it's in early, great. So off we went, the 2 of us. You also had to do a consent thing online, fill out this form, and then it gives you a code, and you have to show the code to the pharmacist and everything, and then they give you the shot. Okay, we did all that, went in. So I'm talking to the girl at the counter, and she says, "Are you over 65? I said, "No." She says, "Do you have a compromised immune system or anything like that?" I said, "No." She says, "Oh, well, you can't, the shots aren't available for you yet." And I said, "Well, I'm not surprised, but here's the thing. Your company sent me out this notification, says it is." Now, wouldn't you know, I deleted the damn text message. Of course, I did. I should have left it on my phone just to show her. Well, I was getting a little pissed off because I don't like Shoppers Drug Mart to start with, because they are a corporation that screws you around left and right no matter what. But because they're so damn big, they don't give about anything. So I said, well, you're going to get a lot of people coming in here if they registered already and they're being told they can have the regular flu shot.
Because I registered and they sent me this code right away that I could get the shot. So I assumed that I could get it as well. So I didn't delete my text message, but I also copied it. So
yeah. So anyways, I talked to the manager of the store because I was getting a little irate about. I mean, it wasn't their fault in the store. This comes from head office or whatever. But I thought somebody needs to know, and just for my own, to feel like I did something. So I talked to the manager and I said, "This is coming through." And she seemed a little confused. I said, "Yeah, well," I said, "someone screwed up on their computer programming or whatever." But I said, "I'm telling you this because you're going to get other people coming in here. And they're going to be upset about this and the whole bit." So she said she would talk to her district manager and let them know about that problem and everything. Yeah. And she says, and I said, well, can I talk to somebody at head office? Knowing that I would never get anybody at the head office because I've dealt with Shoppers Drug Mart before and they're horrible. They don't.
And their system, their programming systems
is
their
bad.
Web pages
many
are bad
in all the time. So she gives me the number 1-800-Shoppers. Well, I knew what that would lead to. 3 hours on the phone on hold. I wasn't going to do that. I did call it actually, but yeah, it already. Your call's important to us, but due to a higher, an unexpected increase in volume, it may take like 12 years
hours
before we'll talk to you. So I just didn't bother. I just hung up. So screw it. Whatever. I'll get my flu shot November the 1st. It's when they're supposed to be available. So that's when we'll get it. I always get a flu shot, but it just one of those things that's just extremely annoying to say the least. So what are people saying? Yes, Teresa. Well, actually what I did was I put it in there was basically in between. I cut the strips wide enough I could fit them in between the seams, kind of a thing, and laid it down. So Anita says, right, high dose here is same as 65 and over. And Teresa says, I can't do the high dose flu shot. No, so yeah, whatever. It's just another thing on our plate, isn't it, with vaccines and everything else, but typical. And the thing is, Shoppers Drug Mart makes
we'll
money.
probably get there November 1st and they won't have any left.
And they won't have any left. Yeah, well, that's not the first time for that. So, and then when you go in there to get the shot, anyways, it's at the whim of the pharmacist whether or not they're going to give it to you or make you wait 3 days standing there amongst all the other sickos.
Well, it used to be I just went to my doctor and got it. But I don't know if they're seeing live people yet. Anyway.
We haven't seen our doctor in a while. Not that I'm upset about that, because I'm not. So, changing the topic, we spent a day at Whirls and Swirls with Tracy. That's the place where we bought our long arm from. And they give you a 1-day course about general maintenance and things you should know about your long arm. And boy, am I ever glad that we took that course. Tracy is so good. And we learned a ton from her. And she started off with general maintenance about cleaning and oiling. And it's not hard to do it, but you need to do it. Okay. And, for those of you out there that might only clean your sewing machine once every 6 years, which is not good, you have to have the same philosophy about cleaning. Like you have to clean it pretty much after every major job. Now, Fidel's on here. Fidel, how often do you clean your long arm with it? But anyways, it was a great course, and I took some video, and we put together, if you haven't seen it already, on our So Chatty this past week. We did the whole So Chatty on our day with Tracy and whatnot. And I put links to Tracy's YouTube channel and website. And even though you may not be here in our area, of course, her YouTube videos, if you've got a long arm, are excellent. They're really high quality.
Yeah, she has lots of tutorials on doing different free motion quilting patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And plus she has a course, which she gave us the course free, which is an online type of course that is, she's pre-made videos for it. And she has a book that she put together. It's huge. It's thick, but it takes you through ruler foot quilting. And because we did a little of that with her. And yes, so I've actually this morning I ordered some panels from Peachtree Quilting out west that look like a quilt. Like it looks like it's been pieced, but it's not. It's a panel. As sort of use that for practice with ruler foot quilting and try that after all. Fidel says after every big quilt. Yeah, that's what I pretty much figured as well to do. Walter went out and got a little compressor. So, because you blow air into this to clean it out, and canned air you can use, but canned air is kind of expensive. It doesn't last very long. And so, of course, he wanted another compressor. We have one, but it's big.
Well, it's not that big. The one
No,
that
the one that we
the
have.
one that the little one that I got is a 3 gallon. The one
Uh,
I have is an 8 gallon. So
mhm.
I just basically use it to pump my keep so I can pump the tires in the cars and stuff like that.
But anyway, so we have that and everything. So yeah, so that was a good day on Whirls and Swirls, and some good tips too. For example, she suggested that you should every now and then clean the wheels on your carriage and the rails, and you just use a little rubbing alcohol on on a shop towel or a piece of soft cloth, and just wipe it around the wheels and the edges and along the rail. So I did that. Wow. I've only done the 3 quilts now, but at that point I'd only done 2 quilts on that thing, and holy crap, the crap that came off now. Now, mind you,
yeah,
some of that may have come from manufacturing
yeah.
as well, but yeah, that's something I didn't know, and I don't know. Did they talk about that in the manual?
I didn't.
I didn't see that.
Didn't see that, but it doesn't mean that's not there
In the manual. So, anyways, Fidel says I have an electric compressor. It is better because it doesn't have water like the can containers. Yeah, well, that's what we have now too, and another reason why we got it. Actually, it's not water that's in those. It's Freon. It's the condensation. Well,
yeah, actually, there's chemicals in it too that give you the pressure, so it will.
That's why they always say on a domestic machine you shouldn't use canned air, because it'll blow more of the fuzz up into parts you can't get to, and it'll also make them damp. I do use it on my domestic machine, but what I do is before I don't do it directly in at first, I blast it first, and that seems to get the moisture out, and then give it just a couple of quick shots. Betty says I use Clorox wipes on my wheels and track. Yeah, I guess that would do the same thing too. Rose says yesterday I purchased a used generator. Yes, Rose, I was going to come to your you wrote a comment, and I said to Walter, well, we'll need to address it. So what Rose is saying essentially is that she bought a 6600P Janome for $600, which is really good.
Yeah, like a while back, I was looking at I don't know why I was doing this, but I looked up the manuals for I have a 6700P. I looked up the manuals. Maybe it was somebody had a question for both the 6600P and the 6700P. And other than the fact the machine looks a little different, like, I mean, it's similar, but the one I have is a little bit more modern. But it pretty much does the same thing. Like there's a couple of maybe extra features on the one I have that wasn't on the 6600P, but it's not a lot of difference. And yeah, it does pretty much the same thing. There's a lot of stuff it does that well, I haven't even touched on, but it's a great machine.
Yeah, the 6700, which is the brother or sister to the 6600P or whatever, that was my first major sewing machine, and then Walter got into it, and I'd gone off and bought the 15,000 and everything, so he was using that machine, and it's a good workhorse machine.
Yeah, it's a good machine.
You haven't had any problems, so I never had any problems with it.
Problems. I haven't had it serviced in ages, but I haven't had any problems at all with it. It's a great machine. It does a lot of stuff, and it does more stuff than I've used it for, but I've done a lot of stuff on it. But it has a lot of features, and you can do things which I haven't done, as like memorize stitches and things like that, which I haven't really done. But if you have the potential of doing all kinds of things with it. So,
well, Rose, you got a really good price on that, $600, even though it may have been used, but I'm assuming that it was gently used or whatever, or you probably wouldn't have bought it. But yeah, I think you did pretty good on that. And as you said, you're a beginner to sewing and quilting. Well, that's a good machine at that price for getting into it. I don't think you'll have any regrets about that at all. So congratulations.
Yeah, I really like my 6700. So
yeah. So
I really like Steve's 67.
Yeah, my 67. Well, I guess possession is 9/10 of the law, and you've had it for 9/10 of the time. So it's okay. I've got my own machines. I guess that means I better check out and make sure my Skyline, looking over the side at S7, is ready to go for that class when I take that, because that's the one I'll be taking with me. But anyway, so just a reminder while I'm thinking of it, it's advance notice. We're coming to the end of October, so that means not this week coming up, but a week from this Wednesday will be another Craft and Chat. And I have the link, the Zoom link for that in the show notes for this today, and it'll be in all of my videos that I make next week as well. For it. So, and I think everybody knows what Craft and Chat is. Basically, we just get together, anybody who can, from 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the first Wednesday of every month, and we just work on things and talk and chat and laugh, and yeah, it's just fun and everything. And for this Craft and Chat people, who anybody that was on the last one, and you know, Walter was bitching about my camera, it wasn't focusing and all that, I bought a new camera. And this one has been working out pretty good. I tested it on a Zoom just on Friday that I had with another group I belong to. And it seemed to work really, really well. Works so well that I'm really seriously thinking about buying a second one as well for it. Because this room is loaded with cameras in here, as you may or may not know. And I think I showed you last week how that one looks when it comes up. Just here, I'll do it quick again. The position I have it in. But there you go. And what it will do is I have it set up so it follows me, and it'll go like when I move over to the cutting board, and then if I move over to the sewing machine, it follows me around on that, which is good for Zoom because I'm usually sewing on like Craft and Chat, and so I'm up and down between those two. And I can pull away from that a little bit and it'll still keep its focus. And I can even come in a little closer if I need to as well. So I'm really happy with this camera. It's a Logitech one, but it's called the Stream.
Yeah,
or
something Stream.
Something Stream, yeah. So, yeah, as I said, I'm seriously thinking of buying a second one. I have to do some more experiments, though, because this is a, what is it, a C connector?
Yeah, it has a C.
And I only have one of those in my computer, but I bought some converter things, and I don't know if that'll affect how it'll work if I use those or not. So I have to play with that first just to see. Rose says, thanks, I was nervous. You guys are great. I'm loving the sewing community. Nice people in the crazy world. Thanks, everyone. Yes, Rose, sewers and quilters, especially quilters. Sewers can be, garment sewers can be a little snotty. But quilters aren't. Quilters are always willing to help.
No, I don't know. I haven't really met any people that are snotty.
Fine. I was thinking of you, but whatever. No. Now, I guess everybody's in there for it. So, okay, so that's Craft and Chat on November the 3rd, starting at 1 p.m. You can come and go as you please. If you come late, that's fine. If you go early, that's fine too. Whatever. We always have a good time. Okay, so Halloween. Okay, raise your hand if you're giving out candy this year. We did not give out candy last year because of COVID. Now I don't know what to do with this year because of, you know, the situation we're in now. I mean, a year ago, we didn't have the vaccines and stuff like that. Now more and more are. But the whole thing is under 12 still here in Ontario, well, in Canada, can't get the shot yet. And they are little disease carriers, as you well know. You've heard me to say that before. And I don't know. I mean, giving candy, I don't know, I could throw it at them. Actually, that might be fun if I tied a rock. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll just take all the candy and tie it to rocks. Here's your candy kit. Aw, missed your bag, hit you in the head. Aw, you poor little dear. Well, you'll recover from the concussion. It's probably your first one. No, I jest. No, I don't. But I don't know what we're going to do yet. I don't know. What do you think we should do?
I think we should just give out candy.
You think we should just give out candy? Fine. You know, the one thing, too, that pisses me off about Halloween this year is also these parents that are bringing these kids around. How are they protecting their children? They haven't had the vax. Sure, they're going to be wearing... Okay, they're going to wear a mask. Well, are they wearing a mask or are they wearing a Halloween mask? Halloween mask is not enough. So, you know, the ones that bug me the most are the ones that bring the little babies. Like, excuse me, you have an under 1-year-old in arms. Oh, you got little bunny ears on them. Aren't they cute? I eat bunnies.
Yeah, well, the last few years we haven't had a lot of people come. Well, obviously not last year. To our place, we have a lot of townhomes in the area, and they seem to stick to those areas because there's less travel from one.
Yeah, because they're lazy little buggers too.
Yeah,
you can get more candy for your effort that way. So I don't know. We did buy a box of candy yesterday. It was on sale at the grocery store, and
but it's not peanut free.
Walter says it's not peanut free, and I says, so what? I think it's kind of fun. You've heard it's called trick or treat. All right. The trick is not dying from it. All right.
Yeah. Well, we could put a bucket out there, and one kid will come and take the bucket with them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, knowing that. But so we bought the candy anyways, but we're not giving out. Because Walter says, well, we can always have it for ourselves.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
So we can eat it.
That's
yes, you did. No, you said it. I did not.
You were in the grocery store yesterday, and next thing you know, you're
you said because you said you're an enabler. You did so.
I did not.
Yeah, and you've been up to your elbows in them.
I have not. I had 2 last night.
2 boxes. Yeah, whatever. Well, we have to go to Costco this week, so we'll go pick up some candy and we'll wrap ourselves in saran wrap and everything and hand candy out at the door, toss it to them. But my sister said that last year she and her husband and the neighbors all kind of were outstanding on the street and keeping their distance. Some of them had those little claw things, you know, and they're handing them out that way to keep the social distancing. But I think it was just an excuse to have a block party because I think they're all out there drinking. We don't get a lot of kids anyways in the last few years, so I don't know. Teresa says no one ever comes to give candy to. Well, okay. And Anita's got Keith doing it for her. Last year, Marilyn put a bucket of candy out to help yourself. Yeah, well, here they just dump the whole thing in the bag and gone. Kids seem to go to the trunk or treat at the churches now. I miss the old days and all the kids at the door. I don't.
I don't think they have that here.
No, I don't know. No, I don't hear about that much. Not in our area.
No.
I mean, I have heard of it. People doing it. Which, you know, in some ways, I think that's not such a bad idea. Like in pre-COVID days.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know what kind of nuts are out there. You know, I suppose if we could put some out in the step. We could get apples, a big bucket of apples and a big bucket of razor blades and tell them make your own. Don't see a problem with that. Anyways, that's next Sunday night. So I suppose we may be giving it out, but whatever. We'll go with that. So
no, because if it was up to me to get the candy, I'd be getting bags of potato chips.
Yeah, because you're hoping there'll be lots left over. Potato chips. I don't know. Suddenly I've just had this urge for potato chips, and for years I'd like eat one potato chip. I was good. Now I just want to bury myself in potato chips. I don't know why.
It's called old age.
Yeah, right. Cheryl says we give candy out at my daughter's while my grandsons go out. Yeah. Well, we have like the 2 tubby boys next door.
Yeah. Tubby 1, Tubby 2.
The tubby, yeah, Tweedledum, Tweedledoo. And then next door they have grandchildren.
Oh, better not be watching this.
Yeah, really. Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, if they are, we're just joking, really.
They're nice people.
They're nice people. Yeah, they're nice people.
And then next door, they sometimes had their grandkids over.
Yeah. So I don't know. But whatever. So, okay, fine. That'll be that. And then I noticed Anita said something about the clocks, right? Now, I know in England, because I saw it on a YouTube, that they go back on Halloween. That was Mike Deacon said that or something. I'm not sure when our clocks go back. It used to be before Halloween, but then over the last quite a few years now, it's always been more like into November. To look it up. Oh, wait, I've got the computer. When does the time change in Ontario this year?
In Ontario, daylight saving time started on March 14th, 2021 at 3 a.m. and will end on November 7th, 2021 at 2 a.m.
So November 7th, so the week
Yeah.
after when it changes for us. Okay. Good to know. Okay, so what else has been happening? Can't think of anything. We're watching some kind of new show on Apple called Invasion. Not so sure about it. It's kind of slow
Kind of
moving,
slow, yeah.
you know, like
It's
when
supposed to be like alien invasion, but we haven't. There isn't too much aliens in this one.
no, no, so I don't know about that. And I just downloaded some things, don't ask me about that, called The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown and, you know, Da Vinci Code and all that kind of stuff. I read The Lost Symbol when it first came out, and that's quite a few years ago
We
now.
found out that it's mostly filmed in Toronto area,
Yeah.
and even in our own city.
Yeah,
in
even in
Oshawa.
Oshawa, they filmed a couple of the scenes here too as well. Well, they do film things. We have this place, and if you guys remember way back, probably 6 months ago or so, I showed you some sites of Oshawa where we live, and I showed you Parkwood, which was Colonel Sam McLaughlin, who was the head of the Canadian branch of GM, his estate. And they film a lot of things at that estate now. He's been long gone for years. And that now it's a historical site here in Oshawa. But they film a lot of movies there on it. And so, yep, some of the interior scenes in this that we saw are filmed in that. So, anyways, was that if he doesn't
His Echo device answered our question as well. So
so yours is called computer as well. Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay, that's good. Tonight on PBS here in Ohio, they're playing the Charlie Brown Halloween special. I haven't seen that in years. So, used to always watch that though. You know, there's always things.
We get PBS. We probably might be getting it too.
Yeah, but we know how it ends.
Yeah.
The Great Pumpkin comes. Yeah, whatever. Well, okay. I think that's about all we've got. Anything else that we need to talk about? There is a link in the show notes to the Zoom for Craft and Chat, but that doesn't happen until November the 3rd, remember. So if you hook up to that on this Wednesday coming, you'll be all by yourself. And I have a thing about using pantographing, I call it, on Lucey. And of course, we've got that learning all about Lucey on our So Chatty, which is our day out Whirls and Swirls, which I think is very, very informative because, and we got a lot of video of Tracy telling us things and that. I cut a lot of it down in that, tried to keep the most essential, but it was a good day. So if you've got a long arm, you should check it out. Even if you don't have an APQS, a lot of the stuff she talked about, I think, would apply to any long arm machine. Okay, well, I think that's about all for now, people. So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. And have a good one.
Yeah. Have a good week.
Yep. Say goodbye, Walter.